afternoon, folks. For you Canadian viewers, my name is Retired Railfan Horn Guy on the YouTube channel. I don't know if I have any Canadian subscribers, maybe, but for those that are not familiar with me, I live in the New York area. I shoot mainly northeastern railroads. I've done Metro. I've been out to the Bay Area and did Caltrain a couple of times, and I've been to Canada a few times, but I haven't been to Toronto in over 10 years, so I felt like coming up here and sampling the local railroad scene, and it's been impressive. And look at that beautiful engine back there. One of those rare Go Transit F59PH is built by yours truly here in Canada, General Motors Diesel of London, Ontario. I've been coming up here since I was in my teens. I'm 71 now. I used to come up here and ride Canadian National, Canadian Pacific passenger trains, even Ontario Northland. I've been to Moosonee, and I rode the Canadian in 1989 from Toronto to Vancouver in a roomette. One-way fare was $301. Tried doing that today, but I love this country. Canada's great. I hope you enjoy having me here as much as I enjoy being here. And keep those elbows up. Don't put them down. Keep them up. I want my flag to have 50 stars on it, maybe 51 if it's Puerto Rico annexed, but that's it. You guys are great just by yourselves. So, hey, having a great time. Oh, Canada! And my favorite hockey team is the Toronto Maple Leafs. Maybe I could do better. They were 11 when I won the cup last. My goodness sakes. Hopefully they'll win it by the time I'm 101. We shall see. Okay, we're at Allandale Waterfront in Barrie, Ontario. We're gonna head back to Toronto behind this classic locomotive. General Motors Diesel of London, Ontario, F59PH number 561. Looks and sounds beautiful. So here's the Allandale Waterfront in Barrie, Ontario, a city of over 140,000 people. Man, it's beautiful. This is Lake Kempenfelt. It's an offshoot of Lake Simcoe, or Kempenfelt Bay. All right, it's 2:05 p.m. We're at Allandale Waterfront in Barrie, Ontario. Power is F59PH 561. Built by General Motors of London, Ontario, and we're going to ride to Toronto, 66 miles roughly. It's assorted CN lines. This route was formerly the National Railway of Canada, the oldest railroad line in Ontario. Uses subs like the Meaford sub, the Newmarket sub, but it's pretty much all Canadian national heritage. Here we go. Let's listen to this F59 work and listen to that K5LA, well, pardon me, it's a K5CA LS1. The new normal for diesel horns in Canada. On our way out, we'll pass by the Go Transit storage yards here. We should be arriving Toronto at 3:46. That lake out there, it's beautiful.
Good afternoon, passengers, and welcome to your Soul 5 train to Toronto Union Station. My name is Jason, I'm the Customer Service Ambassador located in the accessibility coach number 4511. On behalf of myself, the entire crew at Go Train, thank you for riding with us today and have a pleasant trip. And just some announcements, to keep this train on schedule and get to your destination on time, please only push the yellow strip during emergency. Alternatively, you can order streaming text help to 77777 if you require any assistance for transit safety, medical, or fire services.
And listen to that diesel roar.
We are first station stop. Very soon.
Yeah, the MP40s and the MP54 ACs are nice. nice, but these are classics. There's only 8 of them on Go Transit. I was lucky enough to have that on this trip. I like that paint scheme much better. Well, there's one of the MP54 ACs. Powered by two 2,700 horsepower Cummins diesel engines. Beautiful warm day today, kind of humid. It's a very scenic ride. It's pretty rural up until you about 20 miles from Toronto. Today is Sunday, and I'm taking advantage of the Go Transit Weekend Pass. Man, that's beautiful. We're getting all this mileage, and this is rare mileage for me riding on this line. All this for 10 Canadian dollars a day. American money, it's about $7.50. Sun angle is just perfect for doing this ride. General Motors is the best, whether it's built in LaGrange or built in London, Ontario, or in Muncie, Indiana. People are leaving Metro Toronto and settling in some of these rural towns. They're not quite so rural anymore. You see a lot of developments. The F59PHs have been kind of elusive for me on Go Transit on this trip, but I can't complain about the MP40PHs and the MP54 ACs. Very impressive with their 12-car trains on the Lakeshore line. This engine came in around 11:20 this morning into Toronto from Mount Joy and went through to Allandale Waterfront. Now I'm taking the return trip. This may wind up going to Mount Joy again. You'll see some historic stations on this line that are protected. They're on the Canada Register of Historic Places. Well, this is Barrie South.
Bradford's our next station stop. Bradford.
F59PHs are on a few commuter railroads. I think Metrolink still has some in LA. Chicago has some that they got from Amtrak. Well, those are F59PHIs. The F59PHs they got were from yours truly, Go Transit. They use them on Trinity Rail Express and DFW. The General Motors F59PH. Go Transit was the first railroad to order these locomotives. This particular locomotive was built in London, Ontario in 1990. They have a 710 prime mover with 12 cylinders and produce 3,000 horsepower. Go Transit's original order of F59PHs numbered 50 from 520 to 569. Now only 8 remain, and they've all been rebuilt and continuing in service. God, this engine has a very weak horn. Either that or he's janking it. On the way up, he was blowing it pretty good. hear it. This is one of the more scenic rides that you can take on a GO Transit train. Service up to Allandale Waterfront operates during rush hours. I think there's limited off-peak service, but there was no weekend service. But that resumed the end of June, and it will be running until Labor Day weekend. So I was blessed to be able to experience this scenic line with the benefit of the weekend pass. Sounds almost like a Long Island Railroad M3 horn. Nice country out here. Definitely hear the roar of those engines and the traction motors. watched other YouTube videos of this F59PH number 561, and the horn is really not that loud compared to other locomotives. Really moving through here. Not your typical Toronto Suburban scene. has a storage yard for Go also, but it's on the opposite side. This is Bradford, Ontario. This was the northern terminus on this line up until 2007. Then the service was extended to Barrie South, and in 2012 it was extended to Allandale Waterfront. Holding arrears, but I don't think the horn is loud enough to do that.
East Coldburn is the next station stop. East Coldburn.
The sound of the EMD diesel engine is probably justification for doing that. Some of you viewers who are not familiar with my channel, you'll note my channel name is Retired Railfan Horn Guy. Now, what do you suppose I take joy in listening to on a train more than anything else? You know, when I don't quite get it, I'm melancholy. It's got a clear block. It's signal 412. Not far from here is Lake Simcoe. Road Transit has been an EMD customer going way back to the beginning. When they first started in '67, they had GP40 TCs, like elongated GP40s with a head-end power generator added. They had F59PHs. They've had GP40. I think they had a couple of GP40-2LWs. These F59s. They used to have power cars that were F units. And then they picked up the Motor Power Industries MP40PH-3Cs with the 710 prime movers from EMD. But the MP54ACs certainly don't sound like anything EMD I've ever heard. They're Cummins diesels. The F59PHs don't have the lugging ability that the MP40PH-3Cs and the MP54ACs have, as this train is only 6 cars long. We're arriving at the station of East Gwillimbury, Ontario. Service began here back in 2004. Name of this town is sort of a mixture of English and Welsh. Any town that starts with the letters GW definitely has a Welsh influence, like Gwinnett Valley, Pennsylvania on SEPTA Regional Rail of Philadelphia. Of course, there are a lot of towns in England that end with B-U-R-Y.
Newmarket's our next station stop. Newmarket.
version of that voice sounds like the voice on the Septisomo Ladder 5s. Newmarket, Ontario. I've heard of the Canadian National Newmarket Sub, which is probably what we're on now. I don't know the history of this line too well. This is the first time I've ever ridden on it. When I took the Canadian in the late 80s, I don't think it went this way. It went further east. Trackage through here was the original Grand Trunk Railway. In fact, the old depot from Newmarket that you'll see shortly was built by the Grand Trunk Railway in 1900. Well, I rode the Toronto subway a couple of days ago. TTC. I remember they used to blow whistles before they closed the door. This station. That's some historic landmark.
The doors to that coach will not be opening at people go. If you're in this coach and are using a people, please make your...
I know this was former Grand Trunk Railroad, and then it later became Canadian National.
At which point you will be opening at people.
The Grand Trunk built the Montreal-Toronto Main, completed in 1856 at Port Hope, Ontario. That's where it was finally completed, built by the government of England. MP40s make a lot of noise when they start up. Had to hold my ears a couple of times standing next to a few. This one makes just as good amount of noise as they do. Extended to their network considerably in the last 10 years. There's a lot of off-peak service on a lot of different lines. It's not just the Lakeshore line. that always had off-peak service, but you know, they've had a lot of lines that had rush hour service, like Milton, Georgetown, Stouffville. Now they got off-hour service up to Mount Joy on the Stouffville line. Of course, the Lakeshore is always off-peak. That's even more frequent than it used to be. It used to be hourly off-peak. Now it's every 30 minutes, sometimes 15. With 12-car diesel trains. That's incredible. Nobody in the U.S. does that. No one. They have off-peak service up this way. Proof positive, since I'm riding and showing you this image on a Sunday afternoon. Service to Aurora on this line is frequent. Kitchener has off-peak service. Niagara Falls is year-round. I started riding Canadian railroads in the 1972. One train I always used to ride on was the Cavalier from Montreal to Toronto. It was an overnight train. Remember the day-nighter coaches it used to have. Loved riding on that train. Spend a day in Montreal and an overnight and wake up fresh as a daisy in Toronto. Arriving in Aurora, Ontario. This station also has an old depot built by the Grand Trunk in 1900. Station. One station noteworthy, its antiquity is Maple. Where do you see that? That's further down the line. I've ridden it all. I've ridden the Rapido trains, I've ridden the Turbo train, I've ridden the Canadian, I've ridden on both Canadian National and Canadian Pacific's Montreal-Quebec City corridor. I've ridden from Montreal to Ottawa on both CN and CP. CP via Van Cleek Hill, Ontario. I've ridden all the way out to Windsor. Ridden the Ocean to Halifax. I've ridden the Atlantic Limited from Montreal to St. John, New Brunswick. But it's Dome Coffee Shop car. That was great. The peace and quiet has ended, it appears. Okay, the next stop is Maple. You get to see that depot building. And I was talking about riding the Atlantic Limited back in 72, 73. They were like New Year's into 73 into 74, actually. 5 days. Went from New York to Buffalo, the RDC to Toronto, and I went from Toronto to Montreal on a Rapido, where I caught the Atlantic Limited that evening, rode it to St. John, New Brunswick, hung out there a few hours, and I rode a CN passenger train to Moncton, which usually was RDC's, but that day it turned out to be an RS-10 powered train of sleeping cars with upper berths retracted, and they turned those into coaches. And then at Moncton, I got on the Ocean, a day-nighter coach, rode it overnight to Montreal, and the next morning I rode a Rapido to Toronto, and then the next morning I rode from Toronto to Buffalo, and then back to New York. What a 5-day whirlwind trip that was. About 3,000 rail miles done. It's amazing what you can do when you're 19 years old. I don't think I would be able to do that again. Well, I wouldn't be able to ride from Montreal to St. John anymore. At least not on one train.
Not yet.
Get to around 20 miles from Toronto, the rural countryside for the most part ends, and it's pretty much a concrete jungle. All kinds of high-rise buildings.
Now I am.
Toronto has grown quite a bit since I first started visiting it in the early 70s. What you have to do is look at the skyline and you can believe what I'm saying. Day, I think, when I get back to Toronto, head on down to the ferry and go out to the islands. Might be pretty refreshing out there.
That's my bad.
because of how the horn sounds on this locomotive. Just having this locomotive type powering the train is extra special. And the beautiful countryside. And this is definitely new mileage for me. I've never been on this line. This is the first time I've ridden a GO train other than the Lakeshore line. I've ridden GO buses, but I went up to Streetsville on a bus once. Went to visit a hobby shop. Remember, the Lakeshore service was strictly from Oakville to Pickering. Then they had some rush hour service to Hamilton, Oshawa. And now you can go to Oshawa and Hamilton all the time. Oshawa is more frequent than Hamilton. Hamilton Harbor Front. West Harbor. Okay, this is... and this is King City, Ontario. GO service began here in 1982. Look at the station here. Oh, not this one. The old one. This is Maple, I think. No, this is King City, I'm sorry. Signal 224. We're getting near Toronto land now. Maple is pretty much the beginning of the sprawl. I think of maple, I think of maple leaf, I think of maple syrup. Great elements of Canada. Unfortunately, a hotel I'm staying at doesn't serve pancakes. I've had a very nice young lady attendant at the buffet breakfast at the hotel, and I even said, hey, how about pancakes? Can you do that? She said she would try, but I won't hold it against her if she doesn't. I'm not really crazy about French toast, though. That's what they had in its place. But they had cereal, turkey sausages, apples, oranges. Very good buffet breakfast, and the hotel is very good. I enjoyed myself in the hotel. The Holiday Inn in Oakville, right up the street from the train station. You can walk it easily. Wouldn't you know it, the next morning, my last morning there, she arranged to have pancakes made. They were delicious. I told her to tell the cook to put them regularly on the menu. Oh, she was a wonderful server. Plenty of parking in the hotel. And you just take the train into Toronto. I didn't need to park my car there because I took the train from New York to Oakville. It's a grueling ride. I'm going to be doing that again tomorrow, but this time in business class. Hopefully it'll be a more enjoyable experience. My experience in business class the next day was mixed. I had a nice single seat on the left-hand side going forward, but when we got to the border following current Amtrak practice, the rear seats in the compartment were reversed. So then I was sitting facing to the rear. I didn't have any meal in the snack car, which is the same section as the business class area. I didn't eat until after Rochester, but by that time they were running out of food. I ordered this, we don't have any more. I ordered that, we don't have any more. I ordered this drink, we don't have any more. I felt like Jack Lemmon in the Out of Towners movie. On top of all of that, it was another hot day, and CSX had heat restrictions on the railroad, so the train wasn't going as fast as it normally would, and we were losing time along the way.
We just met a northbound go. Some of the horns on the Long Island Railroad, especially the 6 locomotives that have K5 LLA horns on them, those are very loud horns. A lot of engineers just don't pull on them because they're so loud. But a friend of mine just got promoted to engineer on the Long Island about a year ago, and he's always emailing me, texting me, telling me that he's on the 413 or the 509 or the 504 pulling this train, and they have the K5 LLAs. And I say, I'll be right out there. And he comes along, he blasts that thing, the Kingdom Come. Man, I love it. Is Canada's Wonderland near here? I see a bunch of roller coasters off to the right. That's Canada's answer to Disneyland. Well, I've never been to Disney World. If I ever went to a Disney, I'd go to Disneyland before I go to Disney World. I'm not a big fan of Florida. I love California. I tell you, California, you know, a lot of Canadians don't want to travel to the U.S. these days, but California is just a beautiful state. It just has so much. The weather is nice, lots of scenery, tons of things to do out there. And I'm sure Canadians would be highly welcome there. But it is what it is.
Okay, this is Maple. We're in Metro Toronto land now, and this station is beautiful. It's the oldest station in Ontario, built by the Northern Canada Railway in 1853, rebuilt by the Grand Trunk Railway in 1900.
Look at all the people here. So if you're going to go to the U.S., places I would recommend, New York City, you got to go there. It's a great experience. If you've never been there, you gotta, if you do it just once in your life, you deserve to do that. New York City has so much. It's just a fascinating place. I kind of take it for granted because I live near there, and I'm on the Long Island Railroad. I can ride to Manhattan in an hour. But in general, I mean, it's just got so much to see. Spectacular. New York, I recommend. Chicago, I recommend. California, Oregon, and Washington State along the coast.
I forgot the seats are 4 people. My bad. The nails are crazy. Oh, she's on.
On the horizon, From here I can see the high rises popping up like mushrooms.
No, you don't have. Okay, it's okay. I'll live. Thank you. Do you want to do? Just like a clear down. One lot. Just one lot. It's okay. Thank you. How generous of you. Okay, I'll talk to you next week. Core day.
One street on the north end of Toronto is Steeles Avenue. It's right in proximity of the CN York sub. Goes underneath. It's like a main freight artery. Years ago, Steeles Avenue was like the northern boundary of the high-rise building in Toronto. But it's gone a lot further than that now. Steeles is north of Finch Avenue, which is the last stop on Line 1 going down under Yonge Street. Yonge Street, the Line 1 makes a big U. Goes all the way down through the city, down to Union, back up University, and all the way up to Vaughan Corporate Center. This is Rutherford we're coming into, not New Jersey, but Ontario. Looking more like the outskirts of Toronto now.
Rutherford Station opened in 2001. It's in the community of Vaughan, Ontario. This location is a little ways northeast of Canadian National's massive McMillan Yard, serving the Toronto area.
Downview Park's our next station stop. Downview Park.
Downsview Park. to urban experience on this train. Not sure what road that is. Snyder North interlocking here. I know we'll be going over the McDonald-Cartier Freeway, Ontario Route 401. That's got an infinitesimal number of lanes in it. Runs from Windsor, Ontario to the Quebec-Ontario border. It's over 500 miles long. There's the CN York sub. That's a freight route.
Okay, so I was like saying I'm really excited to get this. I like after hours. I'm really excited to outdoors, of course. I like take my breath as well. I can go on Jason at the Lost and Fire so good.
Milepost 13.
I was never there. I love the hills.
I think that's Steeles Avenue. Interlocking is Steeles. So I'd be inclined to think that that was Steeles Avenue. We join up with the West and South to go into Toronto. Signal 122. Downview Park. I think there's a racetrack near here by that name. We can get on the, connect to the TTC here.
There's a small airport near here called Downsview, and you can connect to the TTC Line 1 subway here.
Okay, next stop is Toronto Union Station. It's been an interesting ride. Should be there in about 15 minutes or so. Milepost 10.8.
Take me around. Oh my god.
Well, I can make out the CN tower in the distance.
It's like moving a minute for like 15 hours. Just absolute minute.
Well, Go Transit seems to be a very successful operation. They do a lot of business. I'm sure the weekend passes don't hurt. The crowd size is too much. It's not hurting this guy, I'll tell you that. A number of railroads have weekend passes. MBTA has one. I think it's like $10 for each weekend day. Metro, I know, has one. I think it's $15 for the entire weekend. I wish the MTA would have that in New York. Metro North, Long Island Railroad, one-day pass to ride on all of those lines. Oh, man. And Jersey Transit, I wish they had one. SEPTA used to have a pass that was good for unlimited rides in the day, but now it's only good for so many rides. Of course, being a senior citizen, I can ride on SEPTA for nothing, so I tend to benefit a bit from it, but it would be just nice to have day passes on a lot of these commuter railroads. I guess the MTA figures they have enough business where they don't need it. Caltrain had day passes, Metrolink has it. I don't think Mark has it. VRE has it, but they don't have that many trains. So.
But your mom is killing me. No, it's like no parent is like, we're gonna switch languages for you. Parents is like, no, suck it. Like the fact that wait, why was that my parents trying to like
Right now, SEPTA is going through a budgetary crisis where they're trying to get funding to keep from having service cuts. I mean, all I read about is doom and gloom. Oh, it's going to happen. They're going to cut these Amtrak lines. They're going to curtail service after 9 o'clock at night. But I don't know. I've lived for 71 years and I've heard all these kind of threats said. Oh, doom and gloom. This is going to be cut. That's going to be cut. It never is. They always find a way. There'll be some kind of a deal that'll be made that'll keep the system running without any cuts. People are going to me, well, what are they going to do then? Tell me. Tell them, hey, they find a way. Well, there's a will, there's a way. You have something as draconian as those service cuts. I'd say more often than not, they work something out. I think SEPTA will work it out.
Don't let them ride in fulfilling stereotypes that they need a love
That's just me, the eternal optimist, but I've seen it happen in my long life, and I'm not ready to kick the bucket just yet. This weekend I've spent up here in Toronto has been a whirlwind. I've done just about everything I could possibly do, almost. I'll take care of that since the day is still relatively young. I enjoyed this ride, riding behind a classic General Motors diesel. I didn't think that there were that many of them around where I would see them. I thought they ran pretty much during rush hours, but I've seen quite a few of them running around yesterday and today.
When he was like dead. Oh my god. Wait, this is terrible. Oh, you're more like I'm like in a sad situation. My dad like didn't even notice. It's like the end. When his child's like full of like vomit. Both his children are like covered in vomit. Wait, no, so I always worry like the smell must be terrible there. Like my fear is like
The tracks below are the CPKC Belleville subdivision. Runs east out of Lambton Yard in Toronto through Agincourt Yard in Toronto and heads towards Smiths Falls and Montreal.
Canadian Pacific, maybe. Heading east towards Agincourt Yard. Yeah, quite a change from the rural surroundings outside of Barrie. Fastest growing city in Canada. It's still growing.
And right around here, going underneath us in a tunnel, is the Line 2 subway, the Bloor Street subway, and following is Bloor Street West, one of the most important streets in the city.
I wonder if this equipment is going to continue on to Mount Joy. No, it did in reverse. Went from Mount Joy to Barrie. We usually leave on the hour to go to Mount Joy. By the time we get to Toronto, it'll be around 3:45. No wonder. I'll stick around and see if he goes out to head up there. Mike's No Frills won't be beat. Okay, here we're joined up with the Western Sub. The Western Sub has those Union Pearson Express trains operating on it. I think this area is West Toronto. There used to be parallel CP and CN stations in West Toronto. The Canadian and the Supercontinental used to stop there.
a lot of rain. Like on the first day we're there, it's raining like. Flood. Yeah, it's a flood. It's a flood when you get there. It's the flood pit. Wait, yeah, that's it. It's not gonna make it there. There's no way. It's literally gonna be flood. Like, there's no way. Like, we'll all be taking off.
Overshares so much. That's like
Wait, yeah, so like it's wrong. It is like it's wrong. I got that right now because like yesterday was all like it was like funny. Like I like got all the was like crocheting. It was like
he talks so fast.
on my phone. I was like,
Thanks for the extra ammo. I'm not gonna start getting seen right now. That's great.
Milepost 1.25. Just passed under the Bathurst Street Bridge, a famous rail fan spot. It was built in 1905, I think. Well, here's the West Bathurst Street GO Transit Yard. It's only stored with trains between rush hours, but not on a Sunday. There's nothing here. Here's the underjump that avoids delays, supposedly. It's amazing how much building there is here. Unbelievable. We're in good shape. We're doing a 346. I got 340. You'll see the John Street Tower with the top of it cut off to build that pedway. I see lights on in there like a schematic board. Are they still manned? You'll see an airport express train getting ready to pull out. He'll leave at 3:45. Arriving Toronto Union Station. That one structure back there is the famous Fairmount Royal York Hotel. 1,600 rooms supposedly.
Okay.
The black buildings, that's the Toronto Dominion Bank building. As we arrive Union Station.
I don't want to say it. He's so serious right now. He's so serious. So I would hate that. Like, I'm okay.